Today, 9th of April, is a holiday in Georgia, a holiday to remember the fateful day in 1989 when a crowd of demonstrators in Tbilisi were attacked by Soviet troops, wielding clubs and sharpened spades, leaving 20 dead in their wake, most of them young women. My Georgian wife, a student at the time, was in that crowd. She and her friends sought sanctuary in Rustaveli theatre when the madness descended, and they survived the day. The events of 9th of April are retold in Nino The Eighth Life. Nothing much changed after 9th of April. There was a general sense of hopelessness, and the population was split by the realization of how powerless it was. One half felt spurred on to more radical action by the military's brutal attack. The other half felt resigned. It would seem a suitable day to announce a Georgian Readathon. My name is Jim. My baptismal name is Ioane. This is my channel, Books, Tsignebi, Reading, Kitwa, Stuff, Tzchwa. The Readathon is for May. I chose May because the 26th of May is Georgian Independence Day, which seemed a suitable time. I look for inspiration from the Irish Readathon, which was last month around St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th, because Ireland and Georgia, if you list the countries of the world by size, Ireland and Georgia are together. If you count the land area, Georgia is bigger. If you count the area including some of the sea, Ireland is bigger, but they're both around 70,000 square kilometres. But some of the prompts for the Irish Readathon are not suitable for the Georgian Readathon. The first suggestion was read a book with green on the cover, because Ireland is an emerald isle, but Georgia's colour is red, carnelian red, like in the flag, but red is also the colour of the Soviet Union. The Soviet times in Georgia were not happy times, as anyone who's read Nino Hartishvili's Eighth Life will know, largely because of this person, Georgia's most famous son, Koba, better known as Joseph Stalin. To take part in the Readathon, all you need to do is read a book written by a Georgian or set in Georgia. The problem is a lot of books written by Georgians are not translated or not easily available outside Georgia. The Eighth Life by Nino Hartishvili is one that is, because this was longlisted for the International Booker Prize in 2020. Also, The Pear by Nino Ekvtimishvili was again longlisted for the Booker Prize in 2021. I've got some here which are found locally in Georgia, but the problem with these is outside Georgia you might have trouble finding them. Some of them are not even on Amazon. Georgia has a lot of poets like vazha-pshavela. This is 3 stories by him. I don't know if you can find this outside Georgia. There's Small Town Tales, Guram Petriashvili, Tales from Kartli, Revaz Georgi Alavadze, La Sharella, Grigol Abashidze, Ilya Chavchavadze, On the Gallows. He's another famous Georgian poet. Most famous Georgian book in Georgia certainly is The Knight in the Panther Skin, or The Man in the Panther Skin, Vepkhistqaosani by Shota Rustaveli, which was written in the 12th century and has been translated numerous times into English. I think there's at least 8 translations. The best one is probably Lyn Coffin, who translated it in 2015 and got the Saba Prize for that. Secret of Another Desert, Ekvtimishvili. This is probably my least favourite book, but if you want a romance by a Georgian writer, Rafflesia, Alice Dodson, this is just a pseudonym. Flight from the USSR, Dato Turashvili, about a group of Georgian students who hijack a plane in the Soviet Union. Iggy, Jamal Kachkadze, and this one, Forest of Memories, Nato Kipiani. There's only one review of this on Goodreads, and it's the review I left. It's a strange book. It's The writer is Georgian, but this is set in Japan and in Canada, and it's available here in Tbilisi locally in the bookshops, but it's not available on Amazon, and it's not available outside Georgia as far as I know. If you find books by Georgians, you can write them down in the comments. I'll also have a Discord group for the Georgian Readathon. You can put notes there. Here's another one. Nodo Dombadze Granny, Iliko, Ilarian, and I. I'm reading this. I'm trying to read this in Georgian. I have the Georgian version. But I wouldn't recommend anybody trying to read anything in Georgian unless you live in Georgia. It's a very difficult language. The alphabet, as you can see, is different, and it's not related to any of the Indo-European languages. If you can't find books from Georgia, the country, you might find books from Georgia, the state in America, the Peach State. Flannery O'Connor is a famous writer from Georgia in America. There's also Margaret Mitchell, Gone with the Wind, Alice Walker, Color Purple. There's a lot of writers from the American Georgia. If you can't find a book by a Georgian writer, you might want to find a book set in Georgia, like A Hero of Our Time by Lermontov. The Russian Journal by John Steinbeck includes, part of it is set in Georgia. I also found some crime books by A.J. Liddell, a Scottish writer. This is No Way Back. There's a series of 3 crime books where the detective Ramaz Donadze is a Georgian, and it's set around Tbilisi. It might be set in Tbilisi, but it has the feel of a Scandinavian noir or a Scottish crime thriller. Or, of course, again, you could read about Stalin. There's Young Stalin by Simon Sebag Montefiore is about the early life of Stalin before he became head of the Communist Party. And a lot of that is set in Georgia because Stalin, he was born in Gori, which is a town about 80 kilometers outside Tbilisi. So on this readathon, to take part, all you have to do is read a book by a Georgian writer. If you wish, you can also read a book set in Georgia and read a book from Georgia in the USA. And finally, there'll be a group read. I haven't decided which book we should have as a group read. I have 5 suggestions here, and I'll make a poll on this YouTube channel, and I'll also put a poll on the Facebook Tbilisi English Book Swap group and a poll on the Discord, and I will announce before May which book has been chosen. These are the 5 I'm proposing. There's The Eighth Life by Nino Hartashvili, but this is a very long book. There's Hard by a Great Forest, which is a new publication by Leo Vazha-pshavela, which is getting a lot of attention. There's Otter Chaladze, A Man Was Going Down the Road. The Pear Field by Nana Ekvtimishvili, which was on the long list for the Booker Prize in 2021, the International Booker Prize. And finally, Ali and Nino by Kurban Said, who's not Georgian, but Ali is an Azeri boy, Nino is a Georgian girl, and they fall in love, and it's about their romance. And it's a very famous book here, and there's a statue in Batumi, the second city of Georgia, with Ali and Nino. So these are the 5 I suggest, or you can put in the comments which you think would be the best book of these to read. I'll put the information in the description below, the books I've mentioned, the books to be chosen for the group read, the Discord group. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. At the moment, I'm the sole host here, but if anybody else is interested in co-hosting, please get in touch. The more, the merrier. As you can tell, I'm not Georgian. I don't speak. I'm English, but I've been living in Tbilisi for nearly 15 years. And one of the things on my channel is Georgian books in English translation. I did make a video about that. I can put the link here. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. This will help with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye. Nachondis.